All right, so good to get back to work today. Putting the last game to rest with the lessons to learn from it, which we talked about with you guys last night, and then move forward this morning onto an extremely challenging opponent. Another really hard road game. So, glad we had one, to prepare us for that and what it's like to play in a really loud environment. And so hopefully that'll help us as we go into this one. These guys got a phenomenal quarterback that can do everything. This is probably, I don't know this, but it feels like, looking at it, probably statistically the best defense we've ever played here. Basically hardly anybody's done anything against them. I think they've given up 5 or 6 touchdowns all year long. I think 2 in the first half of games, which is just, incredible numbers. And Brent's done an awesome job whenever he's led the defense. I think every year but one they've had top 10 finishes, which is, just a phenomenal job of how hard he gets them to play. They've got great players. Now that he's had a couple years to get these guys in there and get them trained and coached, and they're playing not as well. They're playing better than any defense in the country. And they basically shut everybody down. And phenomenal. I mean, they got games, as you guys know, TV copies play here. I'm walking by their last week's game, South Carolina, and South Carolina's 0 of 10 on third downs, at the point of the game. So they've done an amazing job. And he just somehow gets the information to the guys, and they do a great job of playing plays. They just do things that are very abnormal when they see plays that they think are coming, and go to take away and go to pick them off. And so this will be a really great test for us. And obviously we need to get back on track defensively after last week. So we've looked at a lot of different things with that to try to fix that.
Leading to that second straight road game, just having to be able to go back and review and look, how you feel Trinidad did in that environment, knowing he's got another one coming up here Saturday?
Yeah, I talked to Trinidad. Really, I felt like, it'd be like a baseball pitcher, maybe to go and playing at Fenway or something, really hard place to play against a, great defensive coach team in Kirby and Schumann that have shut down a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of bad quarterback ratings. And I felt like pretty much probably pitched 6-7 innings of almost no-hit ball, certainly shutout ball if you were putting in a baseball pitching analogy, and then didn't finish it off, there at the end, last couple drives. And had he, it would have been a historical game, to continue at the rate he was playing at or pitching in this analogy, and would have been amazing to do. But we didn't finish it off offensively, and it's too bad because those were 6-7 really phenomenal innings that he pitched, if you put it in that perspective, in a very hard place to play.
You mentioned Oklahoma's quarterback a little while ago, also a new offensive coordinator this year. Just how different do they look offensively this year than a year ago?
Yeah, night and day, very different. And this guy's done a great job. Presents a lot of problems, runs the quarterback, +1 runs, moves him around. And then they've got a background together, which obviously helps too. So this is a really big challenge. They do a great job. They've always had this defense, really got this defense fixed, the last couple of years, and now they got their offense fixed, and now you got a top 10 team like they have. You know what you're supposed to have at Oklahoma.
Coach, in reference to fixing their defense, it seems like depth on the defensive line. They rotate like 8 or 9 guys throughout the game.
Yeah, they're coached really well. They have some backups come in, and they look similar. How fast they get off on the ball, and they got really good players that are coached really well. That's a really good combination in a very aggressive almost like defense mindset. I feel like he plays kind of like a lot of offense, or some offenses play sometimes, where it's like when he has them and he has them down, he doesn't get conservative. It's like he's going to really try to like keep going. And it's why you see some of these games where it's just, you know, the offensive numbers are so far down here because he just never lets up. And I think that that's not necessarily always how defensive coaches call it. I think that's maybe a little more some offensive coaches do that. So I think he's taken that mindset and he really knocks people out.
I was wondering if you could elaborate on what it is that you think they're able to do to sort of know what's coming sometimes that other teams don't seem to be able to do.
Well, I think that's two-part. I think one, it's phenomenal prep. You know, a film study of signals. I mean, that, you know, as I just tell you how it is. I think they do a great job of that. So if you study people really well, you know tendencies, and then you have enough confidence as a coach to go after those. That seems what he does. It seems like, you know, they've got a really good beat on the plays that are coming when they're called, and they do a great job of going and taking those away. I mean, you look at the Auburn game. I mean, I told Hugh after the game watching it, I mean, you might want to switch the signals. Like, it looks like they have the plays. The middle safety's running down to steal slants, which is very abnormal.
You may have just answered my next question, but do you get with that in mind? Do you have to kind of shake everything up from a signal standpoint this week, or do you do that every week anyway?
No, we're going to keep our same signals.
I mean, I guess I was wondering, do you do that every week, or is that something that you have to specifically address because of who you're playing?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and competitively, I can't answer that for you. We'll have an off-season seminar on that for you. Teach you how that works.
Keywan's coming off his third multi-touchdown game of the year. How helpful has it been to have him in the backfield to be able to balance out your offense?
Yeah, Keywan's done an amazing job. You know, I always look at things not like, oh, how well did you do them, and sit on that. And I always look at things and say, okay, how could we have done something differently? You know, and I kind of wish we would have got him the ball there in the fourth quarter, you know, as they were driving a lot. But at the same time, too, in my opinion, you move versus Georgia through throwing, especially their defense this year. And it's a lot harder to run against them. That's why you saw a pass-heavy game or quarterback-run game. So, and it worked, 5 series of 5 touchdowns. So it's kind of hard to go away from that. But looking back, obviously, when, you know, he missed some of the throws, you say, well, man, I wish we kind of would have given it to him. But he's done a great job.
And how big is that in road games, especially in a stadium like that, to be able to establish a ground game?
Yeah, I think it's just it's just such a different feeling, you know, when you go to Georgia and play that defense in that environment, and there's no turnovers, no sacks, and no tackles for loss. Probably tell you we would have won, and probably won by a couple scores. But Keywan gives that feeling because we don't block them perfect every time, you know. And Georgia had some good plays, and players make plays, and Keywan would still, you know, make a yard or two off of a negative run. So that really is a really good feeling always to have, especially on the road.
How have you seen the guys today kind of bounce back, kind of flush Saturday?
I mean, we worked on that. It wasn't a real, you know, feel-good team meeting this morning. You know, and some plays to really point out where didn't feel like that should be the effort that was given in any game, let alone when you're in that spot, and how hard it is to beat Georgia and to get up 2 scores and late in the third, and to have that opportunity to remember that forever, you know, that we let that slip away. So I think that meeting went well, and I think that they'll be ready to go this week.
Are you planning on tweaking anything routine-wise or schedule-wise or message-wise with this an 11 a.m. game coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at that, you know, but at the same time, too, that Arkansas 63-30 game, whatever, was 11 a.m. So, you know, just a few things scheduled, but nothing major.
And then is it fun at all for you and the offensive guys to get a chance to scheme up some plays with Trinidad and Austin both on the field?
Yeah, it is. You know, you got 2 really good players that have really unique skill sets, and to be able to put them both in there was good, and we have phenomenal confidence in both of them, and probably one of the only teams in the country that, regardless of who was in, we would be aggressive, whether it was whichever quarterback, because we think both guys are great.
Coach, this Oklahoma offense has thrived in the red zone this year. What did you see from your secondary and defense in general, maybe against Georgia in the red zone, which they struggled in, and how do you kind of turn those things around, get ready to go to Oklahoma this weekend?
Yeah, I think Georgia did a great job. I think Mike Bobo had a really good plan, but at the same time too, there's things that we had taken away where we just didn't do basic assignments, and you just see people wide open, or we don't blitz the gap we're supposed to on 3rd and 7, and they run the ball for a first down. So part of it was really good execution by Georgia, and part of it was us not even giving ourselves a chance by not executing a call right.
Jumping the gun as well. I know you faced Oklahoma last year, but what do you remember about the 2015-2016 national championship game when you were the OC at Alabama and Brent was the DC at Clemson? What do you remember from that game and anything? And what has his defense has shown since that time for you to really make them one of the best in the country every year?
Just really multiple, does a lot of things. Like, I don't know how he gets it all practiced and called, because they do so much. And he's been that way forever. I mean, we had him in the national championship the year we're referring to, the Alabama. Clemson had him all the way back as co-coordinators when he was in the Orange Bowl, the USC Oklahoma Orange Bowl. So had a lot of past with him, and he's always really hard to game plan against.
Figured I'd wait and ask this at the end, but I saw your videos either late Friday, Saturday morning. How did you kind of take in the Oxford game and what Knox was able to do there at the end?
I mean, that was awesome. I mean, for Dad, I mean, I wish you could have been there. But I was watching on the phone, on the feed, and there's just something that is only dads can explain about their kid playing ball and going down and winning the game like that. It was awesome. You kind of wake up. The same thing when you have a big win as a coach, you wake up and it can always say, like, the sun's brighter, coffee's better, everything's good, no matter what. So somebody can say something, you don't even care, like they're honking at you, you just wave at them anyway. And so I had that feeling even bigger, Saturday morning in Georgia, and I was so happy when he got there for the game. He was able to get over for the game and to see him. And I mean, that's what it's all about, And Kirby said it. We were talking before, and he actually left me a message because I sent Kirby the highlights on our little group chat, and so they were fired up for Knox. And he just said there's nothing like high school football, man. And we talked about it before the game. Like, it's just not the same. It's definitely not in the NFL, and now college has moved more towards the NFL, and it's so pure. And so it was awesome. All right, guys, thanks.